Davis Yoga people. My name is Linda Nueva. I am a certified Iyengar yoga teacher, and today we will be doing simple yoga for respiratory health. Take an easy cross-legged position. Bring your hands to prayer position in front of the heart. Roll the shoulders back and away from the ears. Lift the front of the chest, but be mindful to not take too much extra curve in the lower back. Ascend through the crown of the head. We'll begin practice with 3 Oms together. Keep the lift in the front of the chest as you ascend the spine upwards. Keep the neck long. Release the head to the heart. Place the palms on the back of the knees and lift the face. Come to a standing position. Feet hip width apart. And we'll start practice today by taking some easy helicopter twists. Turn to the right, and turn to the left. Coordinate the movement with your breath. Come to mountain pose, and come back down seated on your mat. So one of the first things we do for respiratory health is we bring some flexibility, we bring some life into the area around the hips. So lay down, and I've got my fabulous prop here today. Instead of using a regular yoga belt, I have my black belt. Consciously lay down in the center of your mat. And place yourself in mountain position as if you were standing up. Roll the shoulders down and away so that you feel as much of the shoulder blade as you can on the mat. And on an inhalation, lift your arms over the head and place your hands back to the floor so that your fingernails touch the floor. Extend the legs out through the heels. Extend through the sides of the waist. Let the abdomen be long. And stretch the arms out as you feel the fingertips on the floor. On an exhalation, bring the right leg in towards the chest and clasp the hands in front of the calf. If that's not available today, you can take a belt, a regular belt or a yoga belt, and place the belt in front of the calf like so, keeping the elbows wide. Be mindful to not crank the knee in towards the chest. Let it be where it will, and watch the breath. So when we are feeling challenged with regard to our breathing, when we start just simply be aware of the breath as opposed to molding it in a certain way. Slow inhalation and be mindful of the exhalation. Extend the right leg out. Place the fingertips again back on the floor behind you. And on an exhalation, bring the left leg in, knee towards the chest. Or in the alternative, take the strap and place it in front of the knee. Exhale, release. Bend the legs. Keep the left leg bent. And bring the right leg up and face the sole of the foot towards the floor. So this is a half of a happy baby. Take the right hand to the inner leg and then wrap the right hand towards the outer heel. Point the left knee to the ceiling. And just be aware and feel what kind of stretch you're experiencing in and around the hip joint. So we start with respiratory health actually in the hips. It's interesting. Exhale, release the right leg down. Keep the right leg bent, knee to the ceiling. On your next exhalation, bend the left leg. Bring the left arm to the inside of the foot. Wrap the left arm to the outer left heel. Press the right foot into the floor. That's the leverage here. See if you can face the left sole of the foot towards the ceiling as you bring the left knee down to the floor. I'm feeling quite a sense of release around my inner left hip joint. Exhale, release, knees bent. And now we'll come into full happy baby. Bring the legs up, face the soles of the feet up to the ceiling, and this time bring the hands to the outer edge of the heels. If that's not available to you, to bring the hands to the outer edge of the heels, place the belt over the arch of the foot. Bend the knees and keep the elbows wide as the knees move to the floor. Let the spine be long. Spine long. Sacrum on the floor. It's easy to tilt the sacrum up and away from the floor, but keep the spine and sacrum so it's making the maximum amount of contact with the floor. Exhale, release. Roll over to your right and come on up. Mountain pose. Join the feet unless you're menstruating, and then in that case, then take the feet hip width apart. Mountain pose. Reach out and stretch out through the fingertips. Dig the heels deep into the floor. That will bring the sacrum and the tailbone in. And keep extending through the fingertips, keeping the chest wide. Bring your fingertips right underneath the collarbone. And place your fingertips on the sternum. And then move the fingertips to the sides so you can feel the area across the collarbones getting wider. So the collarbones widen. And there's a gentle movement of the ribs that goes out to the sides. So take your fingertips right underneath your collarbones. And we'll do some gentle chest percussion together. So it's sort of like a tapping acupressure. So I'm lightly tapping right underneath the area of my collarbones. When the air is not good, or we're experiencing extra respiratory distress, this area in the front of the chest can tighten. Gentle chest percussion. Release the arms down. Reestablish your mountain pose. On an inhalation, lift the arms up. Straighten the arms over the head. And on the next exhalation, let the tongue out of the mouth. Ah. And expel any stale air. Exhale, release. Let's do it again, yes? So we're going to lift the arms over the head. Mountain pose. Extend the fingertips up to the ceiling, just like we did in our first pose with the back of the fingernails on the floor. And on the next exhalation, stick out the entire tongue out of the mouth, and let go of any stale air. That's it. Exhale, release down. So I'm turning to the side, and I'm placing my hands on my back ribs. This area can get really tight when the air is not so good. So we're going to take downward facing dog, and I invite you to see how much breath you can bring in the back of the body and bring awareness to what's going on in the back ribs. Okay, let's do it. Downward facing dog. Emphasis on the back ribs. Press down evenly through the hands and extend evenly to the feet. And watch what's going on in the back ribs. Press the thighs back away from behind you so you're taking more weight in the legs. That's it. Exhale, come down. Sit on the heels. So I've got my fabulous props today. I've got 2 books. I've got my summer reading project, Haruki Murakami, and we've got the Stories of Paul Bowles from my bookshelf. So if you have actual blocks, that's great. If you've got books available to you, take them out. See if you can find 2 that are relatively the same width. And we're going to take an easy seated twist. This one is called Bharadvajasana 1. I'm coming to my side so you can really see what's going on with my feet. So I'm starting off in Dandasana, staff pose. And on an exhalation, I'm swinging my legs to the right. Again, I'm sitting to the left. I'm sitting onto the side so you can see. My left foot the left ankle rests right in the arch of the right foot. And then I'm using my hands to line up the feet. But you can see my hips are cattywampus, yes? Aha! Here is the intelligence of Paul Bowles working his magic. I'm going to place the book underneath my right hip, and then I am making my hips level. Fingertips to the sides of the hips. I'm touching my collarbones so that the collarbones lift up and to the sides, keeping the length from the sides of the waist. Bharadvajasana 1. So my legs are moving to the left. So if my legs are going to the left, Then I'm going to twist to the right, yeah? That's what I'm going to do. And again, that twist is going to come from the middle back. We want to bring more elasticity to this area that can get really impacted when our breathing is compromised. Inhale, lift the arms up. Press the feet into the floor as you extend the sides of the waist, lifting up, 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 keeping the chest wide. And on an exhalation, bring the hands over to the right, left palm to the outside of the right knee, and twist, and twist, and twist from the middle back. Exhale, release. Come back down into staff pose. I'm going to turn the other side so you can see my feet from the other way. And this time, I'm starting in staff pose, and on an exhalation, I'm going to swing my feet over to the right. And again, my right ankle rests in the crook, in the arch of the left foot. My knees are wide, and they're facing forwards. Nice thick book. And I'm placing that nice thick book right underneath my left hip. Inhale, lift the arms up. Press the feet down to the floor. Get length through the sides of the waist. In between each and every rib, and on an exhalation, turn to the left from the middle back and place the back of the right palm to the outside of the left thigh. And twist. And twist. Looking over towards the left. Exhale, release. Staff pose. This time I'm going to turn towards you. Take an easy cross-legged position with the right leg in front. Lift the arms. So just like we did in the invocation, lift the front of the chest. The front of the chest without taking too much extra curve in the lower back. If the knees are really high up here, take your book and sit on top of it. That provides for a healthier action for both the hips and the knees. Inhale, lift up. Straighten the arms. Bring your attention to the collarbones. I am mirroring you, twisting from the middle back. From the bra line, twist to the right. Back of the left palm goes to the outer right thigh. Press that palm truly into the outer right thigh. Again, so you feel a sense of leverage and support. Twisting to the right. That's it. Inhale, lift the arms again. Twisting to the left. Exhale, release. So the first time we did the pose, we've got the right leg in front. So let's do the twist again with the left leg in front. I will be silent as we do the pose together. So we've twisted 4 times. To the right, to the left with the right leg in front, and then the same with the left leg in front. Take your belt, if you've got one. If you don't, no worries. And hold it straight in front of you, a little bit wider than the shoulders. Inhale, lift the arms up, right over the head. Widen the hands as wide as you need to. My belt might be a little short. And take the arms behind you on an exhalation. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring the arms in front. So let's do that 4 more times together. Inhale. Exhale. Take the arms in front of behind you. If that's not available to do the entire rotation, then just take the part of the action that feels comfortable to you. Inhale, lift up. Come up so that the hands are above the head. Shorten the distance between the hands on the belt. Let the lower part of the body be heavy and moving towards the floor. And then on an exhalation, extend over to the right so that you feel a sense of extension and expansion in the area of the left ribs. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come over. Inhale, come up. And then bring the arms down in front of you on an exhalation. Come to a kneeling position. Knees together in the middle of the mat. I'm going to turn to the side, and you'll see that I'm extending the back of my calves right in line with the knees. So I'm not having the calves over to the side, but I'm making a straight right angle between my thighs and my calves. Gate latch pose. Stand on the knees. Press the tops of the toes into the floor. On an exhalation, take the right leg out and make a right angle. You'll see that I've got my left knee and my right ankle in a right angle. The tendency is to let this left hip move out to the side, but haul it in so you've got a strong mountain pose of the left side. And lift the arms up just like we did before. Back of the right palm, in front of the right knee, lift the left arm, exhale towards the right. What are you feeling in the area between the ribs? Straighten the arm. Yeah, straighten it some more. Keep the arm close to the ear. Inhale, lift up. Standing on the knees. This is a pose 2. Widen across the collarbones. On an exhalation, take the left leg out to the side. And again, create that alignment between the left heel and the right knee, hauling that right hip in. So it's no sassy hip, it's all, the right hip is coming in. Lift the arms, yes. Back of the right palm in front of the right thigh. Lift, lift, lift. The right arm, the right fingertips, to get as much extension as you can. Keep the arm straight and close to the ear, and come on over to the side. That's it. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. So this is gate pose, and let's take it the next stage of gate pose. Stand on your knees. Establish the mountain pose fresh by bringing your sacrum tailbone in. So it's just like Tadasana, but you're standing on the knees. This time, we'll take the right leg out, and we'll straighten the right leg. Heel to knee alignment, and keep the left hip in. So the left hip is in, and the right leg is out. Arms overhead, yes. Take the back of the right palm in front of the right knee. Lift the left arms up, yeah. It's harder when you keep the arm straight, and it's harder when you keep the arm close to the ear. Lift up, and then over. Up, and over. Inhale, come up. Stand on your knees. Gate pose to the left side. Again, I am mirroring you. I'm going to move a little bit over this way so you can see my foot. Take a quick look. Line everything up. Repeat the order of operations that we've gone through so that you have an outer sacred geometry of the pose. Inhale, lift the arms up. Back of the left palm in front of the left knee. Lift the right arm up. Get as much length as you can to the side. And extend to the left. Inhale, come up. Stand on the knees and sit down on the heels if that's available to you. If it's feeling kind of stiff, then what you can do, and I'm turning to the side to see so you can see, is I'm placing the book on top of my ankles, and it gives me a little extra lift. Yeah? So we use the props in the most intelligent way possible to make the poses more accessible. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, bring the arms down. Remove the book if you used it, and place the palms onto the back ribs, just so you can feel them. And then come back into downward facing dog. And again, we're going to bring that sense of awareness to the back ribs. This time I'm going to use the blocks to elevate my hands. If you have blocks, that's great. If you don't, use your books. This pose doesn't require any blocks at all. I'm using them so I can bring extra awareness into my back ribs and to see what my relationship is with my breath in my back. Place the palms evenly on the block. My wrists are lined up with the bottom edge. And come on into downward facing dog. If you're using the blocks, the pose is a bit easier, and it should help you bring that awareness to the back ribs. That's it. My block slipped a little bit. Exhale, come on down. Great. Separate the knees, join the big toes. Now we're going to do child's pose together, again with that same emphasis of watching. What's going on in the back ribs? What's going on in that center of my back? So it's a process of observation. Observation is where the healing begins. I'm using the fabulous stories of Paul Bowles. I'm placing that right in the middle of my mat. And I'm going to use that block to place my forehead. Again, so the pose is easier, so I can get that sense of awareness. Don't have a block, don't have a book, no worries. The important thing is to just do the pose. Arms straight in child's pose. Support the forehead on the block. Resist the buttocks back and extend the arms straight ahead of you. How does the middle of your back feel? Place the hands by the hips and come on up. Let's do a simple bridge pose together. Lay down on the mat with bent knees. Inhale the arms overhead and press the feet into the floor as you lift the hips up. Don't let the knees splay to the side. Keep them in line with the hips. Inhale, come up. Exhale down. Let's do this 4 more times together. Press the knees into the floor as you lift the hips up. Arms overhead, back of the fingernails on the floor, just like the beginning. Exhale down. 3 more times. On the next exhalation, roll over to your right and sit up. So before we do Shavasana, I'm going to show a block bend for those who have blocks. If you're choosing to skip the block bend, then my recommendation is to do bridge pose in line with the breath a few more times. So if you've got blocks, place one block on its high position, and you'll place the second block in a low position. Actually, I would call this the medium position because that would be the flattest position. This is the challenge pose for today. So if this works for you, try it out, check it out. I appreciate your open mind. Sit in front of the blocks with the knees bent. Bring the buttocks forward and then place the bottom shoulder blade on the bottom part of the block. So it's like the bra line rests upon the block. And the back of the skull is on the block. Press the feet into the floor and bring your awareness to that chest where we did the chest percussion. and extend your arms to the sides. You can extend the legs forwards and out and bring the legs straight. Big toes moving towards the floor. Or you can keep the feet in the bent leg position. If you chose to do bridge pose, you can also now go into Shavasana here. We're using the block to bring the back ribs in and to let the front of the chest move up and out. So it's like a 360-degree expansion. Press the feet into the floor, keeping the back round to come out of the pose. Again, you can take Shavasana in the block bend, or you can do Shavasana plain on the floor. It's all up to you. So many options. Shavasana, final resting pose. Let's integrate the work we've done together. Knees bent, press the feet into the floor. Consciously recline on your mat. Extend the legs forwards. Let the big toes release towards the floor. Gently lift the shoulders so that you feel the maximum square footage of the shoulder blades on the floor. And gently close your eyes from top to bottom, observing the breath and the inner space within. Let anything go that is clenching or that feels restricted, and create a state of mind like a blank slate. If you have any thoughts, approach them with no judgment and let them release and move across the screen inside and let the thoughts recede. To come out of the pose, first bend the knees. On the next exhalation, round the back as much as you can, coming into sort of fetal position. Rest the head in the right arm and press up with your left hand to a gentle seated position. Join the hands, prayer position, and feel the width and the length and the circumference of the chest. Exhale, bow the head to the heart. Lift the heart up and release the palms. Simple poses for respiratory health. I'm so glad we practiced together today. My name is Linda Nueva, and I look forward to practicing again with you soon. Bye for now.